Forgiveness. Forgiveness is to stop feeling anger towards someone or something that has done something wrong. To stop blaming someone or something.
Forgiveness is such a simple word, but it's really hard to do. Forgiveness to me is not forgetting necessarily, but moving on with a clear sense of mind.
So my idea of forgiveness is letting go of any resentment that causes negativity in your life. The only person that's going to benefit from forgiveness is going to be you, instead of you suffering and trying to figure out a way to retaliate or whatever the reason may be. The only person that's suffering at the end of the day is going to be you, so why not let go?
What forgiveness means to me is basically letting go of negative energy and vibes and allowing myself to be free from resentment. And whether it's a grudge that I'm holding against myself, another person, or a certain situation, the purpose of forgiving is to free myself and no one else. It's all for myself, and it's so that I am able to move on in life without all of the unnecessary baggage. Hey guys, so my group and I decided to do our theme on forgiveness.
So we asked participants to write forgiveness letters.
These forgiveness letters range from anything from forgiving yourself, forgiving someone else, or forgiving a situation that's happening in your life.
Basically, what we had the participants do for our project is they wrote letters, whether it was to themselves, to another person, or a situation, and it's them forgiving that person or themselves or that situation, and they basically roll it up and tie it to the balloon.
And then we took big groups of the people with their letters and their balloons, and we brought them out to an open grassy area and we let the balloons go.
Not only did we let them go, but they let them go physically, mentally, and just let go of the situation and free themselves.
So let's get started.
Yay!
I came here with a broken heart that no one else could see. I drew a smile on my face to paper over me. But wounds heal when tears dry and cracks they don't show. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. Let's go back to simplicity. I feel like I've been missing me. Was not who I'm supposed to be. I felt this darkness over me. We all get there eventually. I never knew where I belong, but I was right and you were wrong. Been telling myself all along. Don't be so hard on yourself, no. Learn to forgive, learn to let go. Everyone dreams, everyone falls. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. 'Cause I'm just tired of marching on my own. Kind of afraid I feel it in my bones. Won't let my heart turn into stone. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. I'm standing on top of the world, right where I wanna be. So how can this dark cloud keep raining over me? But hearts break and hell's a place that everyone knows. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. Let's go back to simplicity. I feel like I've been missing me. Was not who I'm supposed to be. I felt this darkness over me. We all get there eventually. I never knew where I belong, but I was right and you were wrong. Been telling myself all along. Don't be so hard on yourself, no. Learn to forgive, learn to let go. Everyone trips, everyone falls. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. 'Cause I'm just tired of marching on my own. Kind of afraid I feel it in my bones. Won't let my heart turn into stone. So don't be so hard on yourself, no. I like to wave goodbye. I'm not to see my life through someone else's eyes. It's not an easy road, but no, I'm not alone. So I won't be so hard on myself no more. Don't be so hard on yourself, oh. Learn to forgive, learn to let go.
Yeah,
Bye!
when doing this project, we asked some of the participants if we could read out their letters. Some people were a little shy, and you'll see that some people cover up their face with their letters. But other people were really open in showing us our letters and showing us a little part of their life. So let's get started and let's see what people wrote. To whom this may concern, I'm sorry for being who I was meant to be and living my life how I see fit. I hope you can forgive me for being me. Love me for me.
I forgive myself for the hardship I put onto my mother before moving out when I was 16. I owe her everything. I forgive society for having a negative outlook on Black women.
Saeed, I know I have hurt you with my past actions. I know it's been hard for you to understand why I did what I did. I pray you find true peace in loving who I am today and not who I was. I love you, and I know with God we will overcome. Love you, wife.
My moments of hate, ignorance, unkindness, I forgive myself for letting not so great things take control over me. I promise to only do better.
Dear sister, I forgive you for not letting your daughter be exactly what she wants and shaping her into your liking.
Dear self, I will forgive myself for my mistakes and learn from these experiences instead of dwelling on them. I am a flower growing and blooming.
Brandon, I forgive you for not being good at hula hooping. You suck and your hips don't move. You're a good friend, but stop trying. Love you, Rachel.
Dear Dad, Mom, and family, I am forgiving you for your absence in my life, for your rejection that I carried for far too long, for your denouncing my identity. Thank you. I'm a better person because of it.
Dad, I forgive you for what you did to our family. I'm sorry I was ever angry.
I forgive myself for being so hard on myself and never feeling like I am enough or worth anyone's time and affection. I forgive myself for allowing things to get so low to this point and not allowing people to see through the front I put up. Sincerely, Kevin.
Brianna, I forgive you for not being your idea of perfect. I love you for who you are presently. You are where you're meant to be.
Dear myself, I forgive you for being someone that was not genuinely you. You are awesome and never be afraid or apologize for who you are. I love you.
So for this project, I decided to forgive my sisters. I have 4 younger sisters, so it's 5 girls, me being the oldest. And they kind of look at me like a role model, so I have to be there as their backbone whenever they want me. And can't say it's easy, not at all. I have to sacrifice a lot, for sure. And you know, you can't always expect a thank you or, you know, like a random gift of act of kindness, but you do it for the goodness of your heart. And whether it was picking them up from school or getting them lunch because they were hungry, whatever it may be, you kind of just have to be patient, be forgiving, and it's hard, but it's a job that I wouldn't want to give up for the world.
So a time that I had to forgive someone or something is basically has to do with the death of my grandparents. So when I was very young, I had to deal with the fact that my grandfather got in a very severe car accident. I was only 2 years old, so I don't remember it, but he got in a hit-and-run accident. The guy who hit him was very drunk and took off after he realized that my grandfather was rolling down the highway, and my grandfather wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So he actually didn't die at that point by some kind of miracle. He actually instead got paralyzed from the neck down. I really want to forgive that man for being the cause of that, for taking off and not getting caught. With my grandmother, she actually just passed away last month, March 24th, 2016. And she was in a nursing home for most of her life in her final stages of Alzheimer's and dementia. She suffered from that for a very long time. But over time, her brain was deteriorating, and eventually her body was as well. And the nursing home that she was at, the nurses didn't properly care for her the way they were supposed to. And I actually want to forgive those nurses as well for not properly caring for my grandmother the way they were supposed to. So I really am trying really hard to forgive those people for not doing their job and not abiding by the laws, I should say.
So for this project, I decided to forgive the 2 drunk drivers that hit my dad 17 years ago. 17 years ago on Valentine's Day, my mom and my dad were out coming home from Valentine's Day dinner, and there were these 2 drunk drivers that told my dad that they wanted to race him, and my dad declined the offer, and they got really upset about it, and so they swerved over and basically ran my dad off the road and did not look back. They kept driving even when they saw my dad get ejected from the car and hit a pole, which ended up being his death. And the 2 guys were never caught in the car. And so for this project, I've decided to forgive them. It's something that has kind of bothered me for a very long time, knowing that these 2 guys and were the reason why my dad passed away, and they got away with it. And so it's something I've holded on to and kind of, I've kind of let it just simmer, and I've decided that it's just that time. You know, I'm 20 years old, and it's something that I should really let go, because you know what, my life has flourished past that, and I would not be where I am today without it happening. So, you know what? I'm a better person because of it. Hey! So, you know what? I just wanted to tell you all what I benefited from this project. For me, it was really impactful. The first girl that actually came up to the table sat down with me, and she said, you know what? I got in this really big argument with my dad yesterday, and I really didn't know how to forgive him. And she said writing it down and letting it go with the balloons made her feel so much better. She looked at me and she actually gave me a hug and said, this has made my whole day, and I have found my way to forgive him. And throughout the rest of the project, I had people come up and they were just like, this is amazing. This is an amazing idea. And I could not grasp the magnitude of it. And then we got to have all these people come, and they had so much fun, and I think I equally had just as much fun. But for me, it was seeing that people really do forgive. Forgiveness is really hard to do, and these people were taking the first step to forgiveness, because forgiveness is a process. It is not just something you do and you're done with. It is a process, and to see these people just make that first step has impacted me. And I'm ready to make my first step. So yeah.
And doing this project with my group kind of helped me think about that a lot. I was like, wow, this is really deep and it's really personal for me. So when I saw all these people writing their notes and everything and releasing them on the balloons, and it was really heartfelt and really personal and it was also beautiful at the same time. I thought this project applied to my personal life really well as well. So it was a really cool experience. So I'm glad I got to have the opportunity to work with this project with my group members and all the people who came and participated. So, but that was me learning to forgive the situations I went through.
So from this project, I've learned that a lot of people do have it hard, and a lot of people do go through things that I can't even imagine. Throughout my life, I haven't really been through much that has been life-changing, and I'd like to thank God for that. But from this project, I've learned that people really do go through a lot, and the fact that it's so easy for them to forgive, whether it took 2 days, 1 week, or 10 years. Forgiving is super hard, and the fact that they can just forgive whoever it may be or whatever it may be is like eye-changing. Does that make sense? Eye-changing?
Yes.
Eye-changing. Can we just cut it off to us at eye-changing?